Thank you, intern. Welcome back to Minnesota with Aegis Defense Solutions. Today, we are going to be covering the FN Scar. Now, this awesome rifle that's just contracted to be a replacement rifle for the USSOCOM program, this one is going to be chambered in 308. So this is the Scar 17 versus the Scar 16, which is in 5.56, and we've already zeroed it. So we're rocking from Swamp Fox the Tomahawk 2 LPVO 1 to 6 times. Now, this is the newer version of the FN Scar, featuring a non-reciprocating charging handle, which, having messed with them in the past, that reciprocating charging handle that they had on some of the first Gen 1s were a big issue. If you got your hand up a little too far back, a little too high, guess what? You're going to get some bite and have a gnarly time with your hand. But that's not going to be the case in this one. So this one does not feature that reciprocating charging handle. This is in fixed position as long as we're firing.
All right, first impressions.
First impressions, there's this newer gen of the FN Scar. I like it. I like it a lot. This thing is sick. And yes, it does take me back to my elite days in Special Forces with Modern Warfare 2. I did rock the couch really, really hard back in those days. People don't know that a lot. Yeah, I was EOD, but first and foremost, I was an armchair special operator. Emphasis on special.
Nice.
I put a lot of rounds through this in Battlefield, but I've never actually got to shoot it in real life. So for me, this is actually pretty exciting. I will say, I'm not a huge fan of the stock. The stock is a little, got a lot to manage here. The stock is a little, what's the word, James? Beefy? Kind of gets in my way a little bit.
Oddly shaped.
It's oddly shaped. I would say it's a little oddly shaped. Honestly, the balance for this rifle is way better than I thought it would be. I thought it would be a little bit more front heavy, but pretty good, honestly. I'm a fan of it, and I don't obviously have the mag set up for this because I shoot 5.56, but this is nice. I'd say it's pretty good especially for just fresh out the box. Like, I like it.
Yeah. Battle on your rifle.
All right, man. Yeah,
right.
send them.
You didn't see that? AR.
You getting AR brain in there?
I'm getting
Different
AR
platform,
brain.
buddy. Different platform. What'd you think?
Oh, I like it. Honestly, it didn't kick as hard as I thought it would.
No, it's a really good recoil system.
Yeah,
in there,
it was really good. Felt a lot like my AK. I like how well balanced it is. Obviously, I'm used to the AR.
Yeah.
But, you know, because I'm just a retard. You can cut that.
Well, I just want to say for a second, I approve, though, of the quad tone that we have going here, because FN, they can't do a color scheme to save their life. So, you know, we've got like a sandy, we've got like a flat dark earth, we got like a coyote bronze thing going on. Throw on the BCM in the front of that. And
I actually like it. I like it. All the different, the mixes of it.
There's something endearing about it, hands down.
It just tickles a special place in my heart, you know?
You like things being tickled. Okay.
Go.
All right, so what are my initial thoughts on the FN Scar? Well, first off, this is the newer generation of the FN Scar. So one of the things that we have over when the Scar first came out was we have a non-reciprocating charging handle. Initially, when they first came out, which is hilarious, they had a reciprocating charging handle. And that's funny because the FN FAL, you know, made by the same company back in the 50s, no reciprocating charging handle. Yet they decided to put this one, put in a reciprocating, but fortunately on this version of it, we don't have that, which is stellar. Now, going just from front to back, the muzzle device actually helps tame that recoil pretty well, keeps it firing pretty flat. Muzzle flash, very, very little of it. We do have an adjustable gas block right under there. If we're shooting this thing suppressed, it starts getting dirty. I mean, it behaves like a proper battle rifle, where we're getting really good ergonomics. We are a little front heavy on it compared to, say, like you know, you look at like an AR, but you know, that's a small NATO round 5.56. This just chambered in 308 or 7.62 by 51. Moving back to it, we do have ambidextrous controls with our mag release on either side. Our bolt catch we actually only have on one side in this case, which is that's an interesting feature that FN did, where we do have ambi controls for the mag release, but not for the bolt catch. Moving back from there, just our safety selector and the trigger. And if we look at that trigger, let's ghost that thing real quick. It is a stiff mil-spec factory trigger. There's the take up. Oh, hold on. There's the take up. Break. And here's the reset. It is stiff and gritty as we're pulling through that. If there's one word I would definitely use to describe how that trigger feels out of the box, it's artificial. It's really stiff. It's really fake feeling. You know, it's nothing like a Geisley. You know, if you're spending $4,000 on a rifle like this, I would definitely upgrade that trigger. Absolutely. The other thing that was interesting with this is the stock. The stock feels pretty flimsy. I have heard stories and seen people have issues with the stocks where they have failed after repeated use and just in adverse conditions. So there is an aftermarket for the stocks where you can get an enhanced butt stock for the FNFAL, and that'd probably be something I would look at too. Again, if you're spending $4,000 on this, you probably already have the money set aside for it. You might as well upgrade that stock too. Past that, that's my only qualms. This thing is fun to fire. It fires fast, fires flat, and it's just a joy to shoot overall. So let's throw some more rounds down range and see how it goes. Honestly though, I think we need a control for really understanding the SCAR. Somebody that's completely ill-prepared and unequipped to handle it. All right, shoot that thing. Tell me what you think. How did it handle?
Pretty good. I don't like the trigger on it though.
The trigger is kind of garbage. Yeah. I thought so. Really gritty, really stiff, really factory mil-spec, FN trigger, and having fired like the FAL and other platforms from FN, I would say that's just kind of standard for them, just straight out of the box. Nothing to write home about. Yeah, I definitely replace that as my first thing. All right, that's enough fun for you. Give me that.
All right.
Here's some transitions. Oh!
I felt that concussing.
I did not lean into that at all. I kind of was like, am I gonna do it? Yeah, I'm gonna do it. So I just started.
Yeah, if I can take the trigger out of the SIG and put it in that.
There was a short little personal story, a point in my life when I owned a SCAR and I sold it to pay for an engagement ring.
I feel the pain in that right there.
That's called true love. And yeah, that didn't work out. So I love the SCAR. You would think with the weight of it that it would be really difficult to tame, and it's a super smooth gun, super smooth.
Yeah, it really is.
The 308 recoil is very comparable to an AK. Once they kind of fix that charging handle issue, I think it's a solid rifle. In my opinion, just my 2 cents,
And you've got a history with the SCAR.
I do.
Too, right?
I do have a history with the SCAR.
Experience, behind the.
I've got some experience behind the platform for sure, and I think it's the best battle rifle that's ever been made, which is a pretty strong statement.
That's pretty strong. I'm partial to the FAL, the right hand of the free world, but
I'm partial to the FAL too, but nobody's really running around with FALs anymore, you know. So
that makes me sad.
Right. So I'm a big fan. You know, there's a couple of complaints I have on the platform. Big thing, I wish that rail system would come out just a little bit more. You know, it's fine for this.
I think there is an aftermarket.
There is aftermarket.
Yeah, there is an enhanced rail system that you can get for that.
One of my complaints, it's a $4,000, $3,800 rifle, and if I'm having to put a bunch of aftermarket parts on it, that tends to make me a little bit upset. So I would have preferred just to have that go all the way out to the end.
I'm gonna give you that. I'm gonna give you that. Yep.
Hate the A2 style grip. We live in the 21st century, and this needs to go the way of the dodo. You know, the non-reciprocating charging handle is a huge upgrade to the platform. Big fan of that. You know, and the reason I say that it needs that extended kind of handguard is, as far as length of pull, it's great for getting good control. But if I want to run a light on this and I'm going offhand, I'm really taking up a lot of real estate to go offhand, switching up my grips if I have it mounted on either side. I could do like an offset Travis Haley mount or something like that. But if I'm running a light and like a maul, I've got basically no room for that here. I really need something extended to go out on that. So again, that's my big gripe. The other thing too is this tends to eat optics. It's got a pretty harsh recoil on the receiver. So there's a lot of optics that have had issues. So far, the Tomahawk 2 seems to be holding up pretty solid, but it's a great rifle.
I'm actually pretty impressed with how that's been handling today. I kind of thought that, just knowing how the barrel harmonics are with the SCAR, that it would have ripped it up by now. You know, we've put in a couple of 200-300 rounds so far, maybe.
Probably, yeah. And
it's still, and we did a rough 0-50 yards, and it's holding pretty well.
Yeah,
I'm pretty impressed actually. Swamp Fox is kind of up in their game.
So good, solid rifle, man. It's really hard to beat the SCAR.
Yeah, I'm loving it. I'm loving it. All right, the FN SCAR. So getting back from the range, what are your final thoughts, man?
Honestly, I think it performed great. We had a.
Why is this still on?
Why is what still on? Why is this? Because it's
little, my face, man.
It's a little bright in here, and the sun was in my eyes.
And there was a dog barking. He's gone now.
He's gone now. It's gone. I think overall, if I was playing around with an extra couple $1,000 and I wanted to go buy a rifle, I would go buy something like this. I currently don't have something that's in a higher chamber, higher than anything like a 5.56. So if I wanted a rifle that was able to reach out a little bit further with a little bit higher caliber, I would do something like a SCAR. To be totally honest with you, I would probably change the trigger, and I would probably upgrade the stock. After using it quite a bit, I actually kind of like the stock. I had a couple issues with it at first, but I've been messing around with it for a little bit, and I actually like it. One thing I will 100% say that needs to be changed out the box every single time is this pistol grip. We are in the 21st century.
This is an A2 pistol.
We are in the 21st century.
It's aggressive. I agree. You and I are in agreement on that.
We don't need an A2 grip anymore.
That pistol grip is terrible. It's uncomfortable, and the ergonomics on that thing is awful. Other than that, past that, dude, this thing was super fun to fire.
It was amazing. It was fantastic. It holds up to way lighter than I thought it would be.
Actually, it's incredibly light, and a lot of that's due to basically the polymer buttstock and the all polymer lower. That's definitely cutting a lot of weight back too. And the recoil impulse on this thing was really impressive too. Honestly, I thought it'd have a little bit more recoil. It doesn't. It's very, very manageable. I almost equate it to. And what else is happening though is that we do have a muzzle brake on this, which is helping tame that a little bit. So it is keeping it pretty flat. But that impulse was no more than I even say like a 7.62x39. One of the AKs that we have.
For sure.
And this was a joy to fire. It holds up to my wildest Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2 fantasies.
Oh, like, for sure. This is honestly,
I'd like to have this for my collection.
Was like my go-to DMR in Battlefield 4. And I'm glad I was...
With wall bangers. That way you can just with wall banger
for sure.
So those OG Modern Warfare 2 from 2009.
See, but I was more of a Battlefield guy.
No, I liked both.
Battlefield 4,
I liked
Metro. perfect rifle. On hardcore, you
came
could
in
down a
and
guy
man-
in like 2 shots.
I came in a Battlefield 1942.
That's true.
Nerd.
You are old.
Just shut up. All right, so this is Mike and Jay with Aegis Defense Solutions. Thanks for sticking around. Always remember, these rifles are cool and all, but they mean nothing without the shooter behind them. So go get training, make yourself better educated and a better shooter overall. And remember, stay prepared, not scared. God bless and good night, everybody.